Hello, I'm Anne-Marie Karschmidt, Associate Publisher and General Manager, and your host for this very exciting inaugural event, the NJBIZ Veterans in Business Awards. I have a very personal connection with today's event. It was actually inspired by my late father, Andrew Barbaccia, who served in the Korean War. So I'm especially honored to be a part of this new program that recognizes veterans who are making a significant impact on New Jersey businesses, as well as continuing to give back to their communities. This year's honorees served across various branches of the United States military, including the Air Force, Air National Guard, Army, Marines, Navy, and Coast Guard. Thank you to all our honorees and all those who served with them and continue to serve today. I would like to thank our sponsor, M&T Bank, for supporting today's program. I would also like to take a moment to thank our judges, who are all military veterans themselves. Dominic Belfiore, Vice President, Business Banking Relationship Manager, M&T Bank. Eddie Condello, Vice President, Team Leader and Commercial Lending Officer, Columbia Bank. Shom Maliat, CEO and President, Winter 4 Kids. Thank you so much to our judges. We appreciate you. I encourage all of you to engage with each other by joining the chat in the right-hand portion of your screen. This is where you can post comments and cheer your colleagues, family, and friends along. I also ask each of you to please stay tuned through to the end, as it's important that we share in the successes of all those being recognized, especially since our recognition ceremony contains 3 video montages of honorees answering questions on various topics. We will play these videos throughout the presentation so we can all get to know them a bit more intimately. What are the questions? First, what was the best piece of advice you received from a mentor? Next, what is or was your proudest moment in the military or your civilian life? Third, while serving in the military is serious business, what were some of the fun ways you used to relax and unwind? Before we recognize our honorees, let's watch our first video montage where they're sharing the best piece of advice they received from a mentor.
My first commanding officer drilled into all his junior officers that the only bad decision we could make was no decision at all. He told us that he trusts us and he expects us to make decisions. The power of delegation and empowerment is one of the most important leadership philosophies that I took away with me from the military.
There have been so many mentors who've provided direction to me, whether it's my gunny in Iraq, the CEO of Holy Name, or my parents. I've taken a little bit from each of them and developed my own management style that have helped make me successful.
Bloom where you're planted. It's really just a metaphor that, like a flower who flourishes in the soil it's planted in, we need to be able to flourish in our circumstances. It's a reminder to stay positive, adapt to the situation, and provide the best version of ourselves out there.
Best piece of advice I've ever received from a mentor is to lead with empathy and be your authentic self so people can get to know the real you.
Babe Ruth said every strike brought him closer to his next home run. It's not so much how many times we get knocked down in life, it's how many times we get up.
I'd like to dedicate this award to my friend Leo Baylor, who was a veteran of World War II in the United States Navy, in both the Atlantic and Pacific. Leo was a good friend who I had many conversations with, and he taught me that military service is not just a sacrifice, but it's also an honor.
It was that working my hiney off in a corporate job was not necessarily going to give me the tokens of success, the corner offers in the plant, that what I was contributing was just one half of the equation, and that the business that I worked for, they needed to be committed to developing talent. And if I didn't look like most of leadership, it probably wasn't going to happen. So I should learn all that I can, take feedback, grow in my current role, and then at some point in time take my marbles and start to build my own castle and be successful.
One of the best pieces of advice I've ever received is that while the military can be a very rewarding experience, you only get out of it what you put in. And that advice is true whether it's for the Army or anything in life that's worthwhile.
When I was a freshman in college, one of my favorite professors, Dr. Melissa Rowe, pulled me to the side and told me that I needed to do things to make me feel uncomfortable to feel comfortable. She saw my potential and she wanted me to grow. To this day, I take that advice 10 years later to always challenge and push myself to do better and to always grow.
While great planning and strategy are always critical to accomplishing any mission or objective, it is relentless execution and perseverance that makes all the difference between success and failure in the military or in the civilian world.
When you're in business, fail fast. Get it complete, be responsible for everything that got done and didn't get done, and then move on.
I'd like to reference the late Kobe Bryant that has been an inspiration to me since I was a kid. Hard work outweighs talent every time, and dedication makes dreams come true. So the best piece of advice I've ever been given is just do the work.
Mentor was a professional mentor, and his advice to me was that if I do what I say I'm going to do, when I say I'm going to do it at a fair fee, I will never run out of work.
I've had many mentors during the course of my career, but perhaps the best advice I received was about practicing law. Someone told me, do not tell your clients what you cannot do. Tell them how you can solve their problem. I've tried to follow that throughout my career.
So I'm involved in deal screening, deal scrubbing, more in-depth venture evaluations, and professional due diligence in order to make serious, high-risk, high-return investment decisions. So Fred Best, a famous venture capitalist, said to me, Dan, go with your instincts. You have these very valuable, probing, piercing, polite questions, and I think you're pretty good at it.
You cannot overstate the unimportance of practically everything. It's a great piece of advice for living a stress-free life.
That'd be around goal setting and specifically making it SMART, with the acronym SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. I've done this many times and taught it to employees, and it's always worked out well.
The best piece of advice I ever received from a mentor was help everyone you can. It develops you as a leader, it makes your community and organization better, and it builds and strengthens your network of colleagues.
The best piece of advice is around decision making. And really, it's the concept that the worst decision is no decision. I know it sounds a little negative, but it's make a decision with incomplete data or the best data that you have, and stand behind that decision. And as the decision takes shape, if you need to make adjustments, but don't get into analysis paralysis when making a decision.
And now, NJBIZ proudly presents to you our inaugural 2023 Veterans in Business honorees.
Drawing from a 40-year career of executive leadership across a myriad of functional areas, including 26 years of service in the U.S. Army, Reverend George Akins currently serves as the Director of Clinical Pastoral Services Education and Pastoral Care at Hackensack Meridian Health. In this role, he leads clinical ministry for patients and their loved ones and executes clinical pastoral education for those learning to serve in this role. Atkins credits his military experience for his success in leading people, conceptualizing complex problems, communicating solutions to senior leadership, and working collaboratively in a diverse culture. George Akins. Currently serving as Chief Operations Officer at Remarkable, Eric Basic evolved from a 16-year-old EMT to a junior officer in the U.S. Coast Guard, to a federal police officer, eventually becoming an entrepreneur and author. His passion for teaching, stemming from his law enforcement days, expanded into fitness and self-defense training, culminating in the establishment of a CrossFit and Krav Maga gym. His entrepreneurial journey further unfolded with the creation of a law enforcement and military nonprofit. According to Basic, his military service granted him an edge in understanding responsibility, decision-making, and team dynamics. Eric Basic. With a career journey that includes transitioning from the U.S. Marine Corps to the corporate world, Tom Brennan exemplifies the core values of dedication, integrity, and protection. With a stellar career at Proactive Risk Incorporated as an ethical hacker, he has not only applied his military discipline and work ethic to his efforts in fortifying organizations against cyber threats, but has also elevated the standards of data security locally and globally. Beyond his professional engagements, Brennan is a respected speaker, author, and expert in the field. Tom Brennan, a former U.S. Navy military police officer and two-time disabled combat veteran, Eliza Brevard Rodriguez used holistic wellness solutions and cannabis to create a new path for herself, leading multiple facilities, developing successful brands, and hosting a leading industry podcast called Coffee and Cannabis. Her entrepreneurial journey began in 2015 with Sweat Wellness, a fitness apparel lifestyle line that quickly expanded into a wellness studio with multiple locations in Hudson County. Since then, she founded the Other Side Dispensary and is currently earning a doctoral degree in leadership, management, and policy. Eliza Brevard Rodriguez. As a former member of the U.S. Navy SEALs, an Iraq War veteran and an associate at the law firm of McCarter and English, William Brown is extremely passionate about supporting the New Jersey veterans community. Currently serving as president of the Veteran Alumni of Rutgers University and Navy SEAL Foundation, he is recognized for reviving the veterans programs at Rutgers and for founding the university's first scholarship for veterans. He is also known for organizing the Navy SEAL Hudson River Swim and Run, which now in its 5th year, has raised millions of dollars for the GI Go Fund, a nonprofit organization that assists New York and New Jersey veterans. William Brown. After 9 years of active duty in the U.S. Marine Corps, J.P. Buss worked in various engineering leadership positions and business leadership capacities. Currently serving as managing partner at Thunderbolt Solutions, he has placed the Atlantic City-based company on a growth path to deliver high-tech, reliable solutions to challenging issues for today's military. His logical and clear understanding of the warfighter mission attracts highly talented individuals to join Thunderbolt. He has also led the charge to develop strong relationships with Rowan University to leverage and retain talent in the state of New Jersey. J.P. Buss. Ronald J. Campione started in the Marine Corps as a private and after 32 years of service rose to his current rank of lieutenant colonel. Similarly in the legal field, he started as a paralegal and rose through the ranks, achieving extensive experience as a litigation and corporate attorney. Currently serving as Assistant General Counsel at DOWC, LLC, he was recently board selected by the Marine Corps to attend the U.S. Army War College Masters in Strategic Studies program. Within the veterans community, Campione provides pro bono work. Recently he assisted a veterans-focused nonprofit in forming their entity. Ronald J. Campione. After an illustrious 32-year military career, Jeff Cantor founded the Veterans Chamber of Commerce in 2018 to meet an unmet need. As CEO of the organization, his focus is to help veterans with economic development issues including starting and running a business and finding meaningful employment. He also started the NJBIZ Business Advisory Council in an attempt to try to get greater procurement opportunities for small and diverse companies. Cantor credits his military experience for teaching him attention to detail, tenacity, and taking care of others, leadership traits that have been paramount in his civilian career. Jeff Cantor. Joseph Chinny C., a devoted husband and father, currently serves as the banking center manager at Provident Bank in Bergen County. With 23 years of business experience, including 16 in banking, he oversees the Wyckoff branch, driving business development and ensuring exceptional customer service. A former specialist in the U.S. Army National Guard, Chinny C. serves as the founding president of the bank's Provident Salutes Employee Resource Group, which supports military spouses, families, service members, and veterans. In addition, he actively engages in community fundraising and staunchly supports his local Veterans of Foreign Wars post. Joseph Chinny C. Since 1986, Dan Conley has provided various forms of capital and financing to business owners and has created a number of firsts in his career. Currently serving as an active angels investor with Angels Plus LifeSci Investors Network, he has helped finance technology companies focused on advanced materials, clean energies, infotech, .coms, software, communications, and original equipment and process manufacturing. Prior to 1986, he served honorably in the U.S. Marine Corps, competed in the NCAA on scholarship in springboard diving, and completed his undergraduate degree in business administration. Dan Conley. Always looking for ways he can serve others, Francisco Cortez often gives back a great deal of his time to veteran causes across the United States. As president and co-founder of New Jersey State Veterans Chamber of Commerce, he leads efforts to smoothly assist hundreds of veterans across the state of New Jersey. While most people often see Cortez in a suit, addressing large conferences, delivering keynote speeches and traveling across the U.S. to speak on marketing and veteran topics, he says they might be surprised to learn he's an avid Harley-Davidson rider and has over 30 tattoos, most of which he received while serving in the U.S. Army. Francisco Cortez. After serving 6 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, Brett D'Alessandro returned home from deployment and struggled to reintegrate back into civilian life. Inspired by his own personal struggles, he founded Backpacks for Life, which gives back to fellow New Jersey veterans. To date, he and his BFL team have distributed over 10,000 backpacks filled with critical daily and long-term essentials to veterans in 30 states. Relentless in his pursuit of ensuring New Jersey veterans have the guidance and support to get back on their feet, D'Alessandro has also worked to help veterans find housing and employment and therapy or recreational wellness programs. Brett D'Alessandro. With a distinguished 30-year career in the U.S. Army serving in various U.S. locations, as well as Afghanistan and Albania, Dennis Devery retired as a colonel. Since then, he joined Thomas Edison State University as Vice President for Enrollment Management, where his responsibilities include spearheading the development and coordination of the university's enrollment management plan, overseeing admissions, military and veterans education, recruiting, and cultivating corporate partnerships. This enables him to advocate for military students and veterans, ensuring that they have the support necessary to succeed in their educational pursuits. Dennis Devery. Serving as president and founder of Think Form Architects, Russell DiNardo is a registered architect and certified interior designer whose professional design career began in 1989. A U.S. Air Force veteran, Russell is committed to making a positive impact by enhancing the quality of care provided to veterans in veteran healthcare environments. ThinkForm is honored to present a compelling case study at this year's Healthcare Design Conference regarding how environmental improvements for veterans in an inpatient mental health setting can be specifically tailored to their needs, leading to recovery and fulfilling lives in their communities. Russell DiNardo. During his 32-year career in the U.S. Air Force, Michael Ferraro was responsible for over 18 bases around the globe and nearly 25,000 American airmen. Today, he continues this patriotic support here in New Jersey through Bridging the Gap for Veterans, which provides education and advocacy for the military community to secure careers with corporate America. Serving as chief career door opener, he has opened doors to hundreds of active, guard, reserve, retired, spouses and veterans to secure careers and lasting employment. He has also partnered with the Monmouth County SPCA to create the first ever Veterans Pet Adoption Program. Michael Ferraro. Armed with expertise learned as a U.S. naval officer, a nonprofit leader and an academic with degrees from 2 prestigious institutions to coach, consult, train and mentor others, Andrew Frazier has selflessly devoted his efforts to raise up the underserved veterans, minorities and women aspiring to succeed in business. As founder of the Small Business Pro University, he has tirelessly facilitated opportunities for these individuals to learn and to accelerate their skills with networking, mentorship and access to much-needed financial and intellectual capital. Andrew Frazier. As a U.S. Army veteran in the business and creative industry, Porfirio Garcia has consistently demonstrated exceptional skills, an unwavering passion for creativity, and an illustrious career spanning over 22 years. To this day, he credits his training as a squad leader in the Army for being an invaluable tool in his establishment of 2 companies. Currently serving as Director of Marketing for the Greater Elizabeth Chamber of Commerce and Elizabeth Tourism, he uses his bilingual status to create campaigns that resonate with diverse audiences. He also demonstrates exceptional qualities of mentorship and collaboration to forge strong, cohesive teams. Porfirio Garcia. Having served as a U.S. Navy officer on the USS Goodrich, Michael Griffinger has since had a long, illustrious career in the legal field, predominantly as a prominent figure at Gibbons PC as a former senior director. Now retired, Griffinger has continued his steadfast commitment to the community, which over the years has included enlisting attorneys to help those unable to afford legal representation, chairing Essex Legal Services Corporation, and later founding and serving as board chairman of Volunteer Lawyers for Justice. Currently, he serves the New Jersey Performing Arts Center as a director, secretary, and executive committee member. Michael Griffinger. Serving as a certified public accountant with Independence Financial Services, LLC, which he founded, John Hoffman brings a remarkable background to his role, beginning with his service in the U.S. Navy on the USS Independence from 1979 to 1982. In addition to inspiring the name of his accounting firm, Hoffman's naval career ingrained essential qualities of discipline, integrity, and determination and cultivated his strong desire to help others. This has translated into his involvement with Atlantic Cape Community College, where he teaches and mentors students through internships and job shadowing programs. John Hoffman. Former naval officer Joshua King is Senior Vice President of Supply Chain and Strategic Projects for American Water Works Company, where he leads the company's supplier diversity initiatives and provides companies owned and operated by ethnic minorities, women, veterans, people with disabilities, and members of the LGBTQ+ community. The opportunity to compete for sourcing. King's military background made him the perfect choice to serve as the executive sponsor of American Water's newest Employee Business Resource Group, which invites military employees, military spouses, and allies to drive innovation and improve business performance. Joshua King.
What an impressive group of honorees. Let's find out more about them. Let's hear what they had to say about question number 2.
My proudest moments in both the military and civilian life are completing a 6-month deployment, getting home, marrying my beautiful bride Jess, and of course the birth of our son, Robbie.
I will never forget the feeling of having a sense of pride when I graduated from basic training. I couldn't believe I did something so amazing at such a young age. And most important, just having support from my mother, grandfather, and sister who attended the graduation. They were just extremely proud that their brother, son, grandson did something so great.
My proudest moment in the military was being promoted to the role of Sergeant E5 at the age of 19 years old. The leadership training and experience that I was provided as a non-commissioned officer in the U.S. Army established a foundation of success that has been a source of my confidence as a leader in business in the civilian world.
And when I was in the capsule as a nuclear missile launch officer, it was far away. We were working on a silo, and they said, hey, if we don't get this guy to a hospital right away, he's going to lose his eyesight. The backout procedure would have taken hours for them to secure the missile silo. So using sound professional judgment, I deviated from the script and sent the security team from my site to the location to guard the site while they rushed him to the hospital, and from there his eyesight was saved.
My proudest moment in business was going from a self-taught entrepreneur, selling custom t-shirts out of my trunk, to landing a deal with FEMA, providing 30 million rapid tests to all New York City public schools, and later being named Disabled Veteran Business of the Year through the New Jersey Veterans Chamber of Commerce.
Civilian career. And that was the time at which 2 of my 3 children made the decision to come to work with me and turn this business of my own into a family business.
Within 1 year of taking over as a newly NCO 21-year-old squad leader, my squad, who at the company level was viewed as a ragtag bunch, bottom of the pack crew straight out of a comedy movie, was performing now as top of the best in the platoon and top 10% of the company. Truly one of the proudest moments in my time in the United States Army.
My proudest moment in the Navy was leading our ship's supply department from last place to first place in the squadron. We accomplished this by developing strong relationships, training consistently, and leading by example. Our entire department was recognized, and I received a Navy Achievement Medal for outstanding leadership.
The proudest moment in my civilian life was seeing my children graduate from college and develop as adults. In the military, my proudest moments came at my operations during the 9/11 attacks in New York City and the operations I led in Afghanistan.
Well, a proud moment, of course, is the birth of my 2 children. But while I was in the Marines, I competed in the 1980 U.S. Springboard Diving Zone qualifying for the Olympic trials. I did myself quite proud, finishing in the top 200 in the U.S. of competitors that year.
As a married man, I have to say the wedding to my wife, although also plays in the birth of my son, but without the marriage to Nicole, I would not have AJ.
All officers are training officers. You will always have junior officers assigned under your command. But when you watch them progress through the ranks and assume positions of leadership, then you know you've done your job well in training them.
Proudest moment is usually more of like I'll call it pay it forward type moment, and that's when somebody who I've either mentored or I've brought on board get promoted, and that's always a great moment for me. To watch somebody who, I've believed in and who I've seen potential with get promoted, because it means others have seen the same thing. And so, yeah, always makes me happy.
Since joining Recycling Management Resources in 2019 and being promoted to General Manager of its Barrington plant in 2021, Michael Lafferty has led it in becoming a model operation for the other plants within the company. According to Lafferty, who previously had served 8 years in the Marines, the military helped with not only securing his first civilian job, but also in building a career with a high degree of confidence, discipline, and focus. In particular, he says that his military experience gave him a unique understanding of the importance of being a good leader and fostering a team atmosphere. Michael Lafferty. Ryan Leonard is the founder and CEO of NJF Worldwide LLC, a service-disabled veteran-owned small business. Prior to that, he served in the U.S. Army for 8 years and was deployed during Operation Iraqi Freedom, where he managed a multi-billion-dollar warehouse operation that required top-secret security clearance for movement of sensitive items. After returning home from his deployment, Leonard used the knowledge and experience he gained in the Army to grow NJF Worldwide from a company selling custom t-shirts from his car to a leader in global manufacturing and distribution. Ryan Leonard. With nearly 30 years of financial services experience in various roles from commercial banking market manager to market executive and more, Oliver E. Lewis Jr. currently serves as Executive Vice President, Head of Commercial Banking at Columbia Bank. In this role, his goal is to help local businesses grow and improve efficiencies. He also serves as a mentor to various members of the Commercial Banking Division, as well as the executive sponsor of the Veterans Employee Resource Group, a role that he takes particular pride in, having served as a captain in the U.S. Air Force. Oliver E. Lewis, Jr. Recognized as a serial entrepreneur, Jack Licata currently serves as president of Fast Bags Corp., a manufacturer of a multi-patented trash bag dispensing system. According to Licata, who served in the U.S. Air Force for 5 years, he took all his education and successes and failures from the military and incorporated it all into the company's mission to revolutionize the plastics industry while reducing the carbon footprint. Dedicated to making a positive impact on the environment and the community, Licata also employs veterans and people with disabilities, with everything manufactured and assembled in New Jersey. Jack Licata. Celebrating more than 20 years at Johnson & Johnson, Jonathan Lone is recognized as an inspirational and caring leader, focused on individual and team professional development with a tremendous record of business success, most recently in his role as Vice President of Finance of the global medtech supply chain. Thanks to his time serving as a United States Navy officer, he has also achieved success serving as enterprise co-chair of the company's Veterans Leadership Council, which under his guidance offers a welcoming, supportive, developmental community for those in the military-connected community. Jonathan Lone. After serving in the Army and 25 years as a correctional officer, Lance Lopez, Sr. has continued his career supporting veterans as the project manager of veterans and community recruitment with NJMEP, utilizing his first-hand knowledge of what it's like transitioning from active duty back into civilian life. Lopez coordinates the training of veterans and their families at no cost and connects them to advanced manufacturing businesses looking to hire veterans. This role allows him to continue supporting those that risked everything to protect our nation while strengthening the nation's defense supply chain. Lance Lopez, Sr. With a resume that includes combat veteran, accomplished professor, practitioner, and autism advocate, Christopher Monenta currently serves as founding executive director at Rutgers Center for Adult Autism Services, where his work focuses on addressing systemic and societal barriers to equity and inclusion for adults with autism and other neurodiversity. According to Monenta, who also volunteers on the boards of several nonprofits and is the founder and chair of a university-wide neurodiversity task force, the time he spent in the Army has contributed to the person he is in all facets of life. Christopher Monenta. A veteran of the U.S. Army National Guard, James Marshman began his professional career in higher education with Berkeley College in the Office of Academic Advisement as a Student Success Coordinator. Today, as the Director of Student Development and Campus Life, he is responsible for developing and implementing leadership, civic engagement, and other developmental opportunities for students and overseeing programming efforts to support the strategic goals and mission of student development and campus life, which includes serving as the food pantry manager for the Berkeley College Foundation Food Pantry. James Marshman. As President and CEO of Renaissance Global Services, LLC, Antonio Martinez not only runs the successful service-disabled veteran-owned small business, but he is also fully committed to employing and supporting veterans. Currently, 26% of the company's workforce are military veterans. Still serving in the Army Reserve, himself, as a colonel and commander of a drill sergeant brigade, Martinez understands how important it is for employers to support military service members. Additionally, he is a board member for the New Jersey State Veterans Chamber of Commerce and is active in supporting veteran-owned businesses. Antonio Martinez. After obtaining an MBA in marketing and serving in the U.S. Navy, Kathy McBarnett Nealay started her career in corporate America. With a long and successful career at companies like J&J, Merck and others, along with 2 patents to her name, she started Spin Doctor Laundromats LLC, a high-end laundromat that is disrupting the industry while creating an exceptional customer experience and providing multiple employment opportunities for local residents. In addition, she has continued to give back by being a role model for the Goldman Sachs program and mentor for the SBA administration to help other new business owners be successful. Kathy McBarnett Nealay. John D. McCarthy, a partner at Schenck Price Smith & King LLP for more than 22 years, was also serving in the U.S. Naval Reserve from 1996 until 2002. From a young age, he understood the importance of serving and helping others, making it his mission to do so throughout his professional career. As an attorney, he represents law enforcement as well as providing pro bono legal advice for residents at Bloom for Women. Within the military, he served as an intelligence specialist dedicated to defending and protecting his country. John D. McCarthy. Serving as Chief Operating and Finance Officer at CSG Law PC and as a retired U.S. Army Major, Robert McGowan has been guided by a twin focus on mission and people. This has served him well, as he led CSG Law through impressive growth during his 3-plus-year tenure with revenue increasing from approximately $80 million to more than $100 million over this period. He has also implemented significant upgrades to back-office software and processes that collectively contribute to making CSG Law a highly desirable place to practice law. Robert McGowan. In addition to serving as a non-commissioned officer in the U.S. Army National Guard from 1984 to 1990, Keith Mikwa was also maintaining a full-time job and participating in various community services. Serving today as partner with Lerner David, LLP, he has remained involved in the community delivering food at Blessed Sacrament Food Pantry and Soup Kitchen, serving as a mentor with SCORE and participating in the Wills for Heroes program that provides free of estate services to first responders and active and retired military members. Keith Mikwa. Kevin J. O'Connor is a U.S. Air Force veteran who served with distinction for 6 years in the Strategic Air Command and later graduated from law school with honors in 1995, where he served as editor-in-chief of the Rutgers Law Review. He went on to develop extensive experience as a trial attorney with a focus on business litigation, employment law, and construction law. Certified by the Supreme Court of NJ as a civil trial attorney, he practices law at Pecker & Abramson, PC, where he also serves as chair of its business litigation practice and co-chair of its labor and employment practice. He is also highly active in the American Bar Association, as well as the Defense Research Institute. Kevin J. O'Connor. Inspired by 9/11, John Pretting enlisted in the U.S. Air Force serving in Operation Enduring Freedom. After leaving the military in 2018, he still felt a desire to serve and began working in healthcare, first with the VA and then Angelic Health Hospice and Palliative Care, helping fellow veterans. Today, as a Veterans Outreach Coordinator at Angelic Health, he works directly with hospice patients who are veterans, providing them with resources, helping them navigate the VA system, and ensuring they access benefits they are entitled to receive. He also holds vet-to-vet cafes, spending time with veterans and their families. John Pretting. Serving as the Senior Vice President of Retail Regional Manager at M&T Bank, Brendan Resnay oversees a region of 68 team members and 14 branches. As an Air Force veteran, he served as a Staff Sergeant and Client Services Technician at the Communications Flight in Stewart Air National Guard Base. Notably, he established a mission defense team during his deployment to Qatar. At M&T, his leadership style is rooted in empowerment and inclusivity, striving to provide an environment where his team can fully realize their potential. Outside of his banking role, he is a lead event coordinator for the Make a Smile Foundation. Brendan Resnay. As Vice President of Citibank, Stephen Robles enjoys helping customers with their mortgage options when purchasing a new home, helping them plan for retirement, or most recently, helping healthcare providers with their financing needs. Robles, who began his military career in 1998, is equally passionate about his role as senior enlisted leader in the U.S. Air Force, where he focuses on airmen's development and training to ensure mission accomplishment, while developing effective leaders. He has also mentored and developed numerous subordinates who have been able to move on to first sergeant roles and helped some of his personnel to become officers. Stephen Robles. A partner at EY, Tom Scazafavo advises global financial institutions on anti-money laundering, regulatory compliance, risk assessments, sanctions compliance, and fraud prevention. Before joining the firm, he served 7 years on active duty with the U.S. Navy as a surface warfare officer. Utilizing that experience, he leads the Veterans Network for EY's Financial Services Office and helps lead EY's relationship with the Jericho Project, a nonprofit that serves homeless or low-income veterans. Since 2015, he has volunteered with the Wounded Warrior Project as a peer mentor. Tom Scazafavo. Following 2 tours in Iran as a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps from 1998 to 2006, David Van Beaver joined Holy Name as Supervisor of Environmental and Transportation Services. In 2015, he was promoted to Director and in 2020 to Executive Director, assuming responsibility for all housekeeping and environmental, internal patient and external outpatient transportation, and linen services accomplished by 145 employees throughout Holy Name's facilities. Under his leadership, his team led Holy Name to several environmental stewardship awards from the Commerce and Industry Association of New Jersey for green efforts. David Van Beaver. After graduating from University of Notre Dame with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, Andrew Wood volunteered to serve in the U.S. Navy from 1986 to 1997, where he earned a master's degree in finance and served as a naval contracting officer for Naval Facilities Engineering Command Atlantic Fleet. After his military service, he joined J. Fletcher Creamer & Son, Incorporated, a subsidiary of API, where he made an immediate positive impact. After 4 years as a project manager on major New Jersey infrastructure projects, he was promoted to CFO, in which he helped grow the construction company's revenues from $75 million to $700 million.
Wow. That has been some presentation, but we're not done yet. Let's hear what they have to say about question number 3.
The National Guard afforded me a good opportunity to balance both civilian and military life. So one of the things my wife and I love to do is go skiing in Vermont.
When I was stationed in Hawaii and we were not deployed, one of the best ways for us to unwind and relax was to take advantage of all that Hawaii had to offer. That was anything from going to the beach, doing some snorkeling, doing some surfing, hiking up some of the awesome mountains to see some incredible views.
I would venture to say that the military doesn't usually build their bases in nice tourist spots, that they're out in the middle of nowhere. And so it could be pretty challenging trying to find things to do to relax. But I remember listening to music and reading quite a bit. And there was one memorable time when all like 4 of us piled into a car and we drove through pouring rain. I mean, the only kind that Florida can give you, all the way down from Meridian, Mississippi to Jackson, just to see the Commodores. It's one of those nights that you'll never forget. But if you're with people, like-minded people, you can always find ways to have a good time and relax and enjoy yourself.
One of the great things about being in the military is experiencing new cultures, and the camaraderie that you develop with your buddies. Being overseas for an extended period of time really immerses you in the culture in a way that most civilians will never get to experience.
So being a nuclear missile launch officer, sometimes it could be very stressful. And what I did to relax in the off hours was motorcycle riding, fishing, going to the Kansas City Royals games, and working with the Juniors Officers Council, especially when we did holiday parties at the Higginsville Habilitation School.
Although I may look a little fluffy right now, I spent most of my free time in the gym and competing in MWR-hosted strongman competitions, such as the Superman Club, 1,000-Pound Club, and actually came home with 3 first-place trophies throughout my deployment.
When I was in the military was read. I was an avid reader. I would enjoy reading, mostly escapist literature, but that's how I got through.
Some of my favorite ways to relax and unwind in the military was skiing, sailing, and horseback riding in unique places around the world. The military has some great morale, welfare, and recreation activity areas. And they also have great golf courses at every military base. So golfing was another one.
Sunny Southern California, home of our 3rd Air Wing, provided nearby snow skiing and surfing at Laguna Beach on the same day. So there's that. And then fixing cars was fun. So was attending college and earning my associate's degree. With the military, there's a self-challenging moment around every corner when one is looking for ways to improve themselves while serving.
Hanging out with the guys, whether it was playing dominoes, playing cards, or going to bowling or movies, just looking forward to those hours that we had off and that we knew we weren't on duty, and hanging out together.
I've always enjoyed the sky, whether jumping from a plane or flying one. Our mother never understood why a person would jump from a plane. She had 2 sons who enjoyed skydiving.
Yeah, ways to relax, unwind, have fun. So I was stationed in Hawaii, and three different ways. So one is Hawaii has beautiful golf courses. So I like to golf with my buddies from the ship. So we'd go out, play different golf courses, and you got great rates being in the military. The second one was hiking. Beautiful hiking trails in Hawaii, waterfalls at the end of the hiking trails, get some exercise, let off some steam. That was great. And the third way was I was young at the time. So what else did young guys want to do? Go out and have fun. So I had a high-rise condo in downtown Honolulu my last year on board. And so everybody wanted to seem to go there on a Friday or a Saturday night, and we'd start there, and then we'd go out and have a good time. So that was it.
And that concludes our 2023 Veterans in Business Awards program. What a truly impressive group of individuals. Congratulations to everyone being honored today for your dedication and contributions to the Garden State and to our country. To say it is well-deserved would be an understatement. And again, NJBIZ is so proud to have played a role in honoring all of you. I would like to thank our sponsor, M&T Bank, for supporting today's program as well. I would also like to give a shout out to everyone tuning in today and all who chatted with us during the presentation and those who submitted the videos. Finally, thank you to the entire New Jersey business community for supporting us, as it really means so much to all of us at NJBIZ. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.